Hello everyone, welcome to the Lalantia show. Today I'm coming on to talk about spirit animals because we hear a lot of talk about spirit animals, and I know in the beginning of my spiritual journey I didn't really understand, like, how do you know when a spirit animal is showing up for you, or when do you know that it's really a message for you and not just a coincidence, and all of these different things. So that's what this video is about today: how to know if it's really a message for you, what moments kind of signify that kind of thing. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lalantia. I'm a psychic realm channeler and energy healer, and I work with the magical realms. I work with dragons, unicorns, mermaids, fairies, all of the different magical beings. I help you connect to the magic of who you really truly are. So I work with pretty much anything that is important for you to connect with, because my energy is different from your energy. So you may be an animal communicator, and so I hold that space for you to be able to develop and deepen those gifts. But my specialty, what I'm most known for, is working with the different magical beings, because they're here to assist us in being our most authentic selves, to access our gifts, our wisdom, our truest self. And our truest self is someone who is empowered, who can speak and express their truth, who is creative. Our true authentic self knows how to use our gifts, which isn't really gifts, like, it's just a natural part of who we are, but that's kind of what we refer to in our society. So using our abilities for good and in the creation of the new earth. And everything comes down to, we are a part of this creation of the new earth, basically. So we need to be deeply connected to ourselves and who we really truly are to do that. So animals as our spirit guides, or as our guides or leaders, they can be our spirit guides as well. We can have animal spirit guides, but that's not so much what I'm talking about, but how animals can show up for us to communicate a message to us and to help us through something difficult. So animals are great at messengers because there are animals everywhere. So I can look out my window and I can see animals. I can go to the park and I see animals. I go on TV or watch TV and I see animals. I go on the computer, I see animals. So the question is, how do you know the animal is actually trying to communicate with you or bring you a message or help you through something? And that is kind of the important thing here. First of all, I don't believe in coincidences. So anytime you're like, oh, that must just be a coincidence, like, dismiss that. But sometimes we do look a little too deeply into things. It's like, oh, like, I don't know, that dog looked at me funny, and what does it mean? And so sometimes it's important to recognize that not everything means something. Like, don't be stuck in that, oh, what's that message for me? Oh, what's that message for me? Oh, what's that message for me? And instead, just know that the universe is always communicating with you. So see those signs without that desperation of trying to figure it out, right? So when do you determine it is a message and not just a coincidence? So, like I said, there are no coincidences. So if you see an animal over and over and over again, and I'm not just talking about a dog or a cat or an animal that you see, like, I take my dogs out, I look out my window, I see other people walking their dogs. Dog is not really going to work for me as a messenger necessarily, unless there is a particular event that happens, which I will tell you about in just a moment. But the other day I was doing a call with a client and I looked out my window and there was a rabbit. Now, I have never seen a rabbit in the courtyard before. And I stare out the window. Well, I'm not like staring out the window, but I'm on my client calls. My window's right there. I see a lot. I see everything that's happening out there pretty much. And I've never seen a rabbit out there before. I've seen squirrels, not a lot, but I've never seen a rabbit. Now, I know that there are rabbits out there, but they usually only come out at night. So I've never seen a rabbit. But not only did I see the rabbit, but the rabbit stopped and stared at me for like 10 minutes. Maybe not that long. It seemed like a really long time. Maybe it's 5 minutes, but it was a long time. I was on a client call and I'm just like, she's like, well, that rabbit must have a message for you, because the rabbit was looking at me, or seemed to be looking directly at me, and stood still. And this is the middle of the day and there are people moving around, and that rabbit just looked at me. So it was time for me to tune in and see what that rabbit had to say to me. So I channeled the rabbit in that moment while I was on my client call. And so that is a perfect example. And I didn't see rabbits over and over and over again in order to receive this message. I saw the rabbit one time, but the rabbit exhibited unusual behavior and caught my attention. So for me, I knew that was a message for me and I couldn't ignore that moment. So this can happen. This happened with, actually, this is maybe one of the main ways that this shows up for, well, not really, I guess. So an example of an animal or a bug, or I guess a spider in this case, in this other story that I'm going to tell you, is it comes up over and over and over again. So I somebody talked to me about spiders were showing up for them, or they had spiders in their house or something. Somebody said something about spiders and I didn't even think about it, you know. Sure, somebody had spiders. And then I saw a spider in my shower. Once again, I didn't really think about it, but it was the first spider that I've ever seen in my place. And so, I noted it, but I didn't really think about it too hard. And then I had maybe a dream about spider. I'm not sure, but I had another thing happen. And then a spider crawled on me in my bed. And I knew it was a spider. I didn't see it, but I knew it was a spider. And it was dark, so I couldn't see in the dark, but it was in the middle of the night. But I woke up and I knew it was a spider, and I knew the spider was communicating with me, and I was able to receive the message. Um, so that time spiders showed up over and over and over, and there were multiple times after that, and spider has still been showing up for me. So I know that spider is still communicating with me. Spider is still telling me this message, and there's layers to it. And if I'm ignoring the message, then spider may keep showing up and being like, hey, you need to work on this, you need to work on this, or you need to look at this other aspect of this, or go deeper with this. Each spirit animal has multiple messages that they can be giving you. And until you do that, they can continue to show up. Or they might show up one time, you ignore the message, and you don't receive it again. But they're giving you that opportunity to receive that message. Another time, I was going through my separation, and I was traveling, and I was in Seattle, and I was staying at a hotel, and it was early in the morning. The sun was up, but it was really early in the morning. And I took my dogs out, and I'm standing outside, and a fox goes right by us, right down the middle of the road. Like, he looked at us and kept trotting on. And I was like, that was weird. So that situation was an unusual occurrence. So the fox did look at us, but the fox didn't necessarily seem bothered, like to stop or to be afraid of us. There was just like whatever, more humans. But the message was more not that fox, but just the fox message in general, which related directly with the situation that I was in. So I knew that that was a message for me. But I could have also easily dismissed that, because that was only one time that I saw the fox. And the fox didn't actually pay any attention to us and just walked right on by. But I knew, okay, I know what fox message is. And that message actually relates really directly with exactly what I'm going through in this moment with my ex-husband. So I knew that message was, hey, pay attention to this part of the situation that you're in. So sometimes you just have to be able to discern that for yourself. Does that message feel relevant to you? Does it seem to make sense? That kind of thing. There may be a particular bird that you see in the park, and yeah, that bird could have been there all the time, and it's not such a big thing that that bird is there. But all of a sudden one day you're like, this bird has a specific message for me, or you get a different feeling from it, or it behaves differently, it does something strange and gets your attention. It's trying to get your attention so that it can give you a message, or it may be. So you have to decipher when that actually means something. Now, a lot of times spirit animals show up for us when we go to the store and we see, oh, this beautiful print of an elephant. And then we go home and we turn on the TV and the commercial is about an elephant sanctuary. I don't even know if that's well, there are elephant sanctuaries, but I don't know there's a commercial, but let's just say there is. There's an elephant on, and then you go on the computer and somebody is sharing a cute elephant video, and then you have a dream about elephant, and then you pull a card from your oracle deck and it's elephant. Like, obviously elephant is trying to communicate with you. So then it's like, okay, what is elephant saying to me? What is the message from elephant? And the awesome thing about spirit animals is there are so many resources for finding out what the messages are, and you have to find those that really resonate with you. So there's so many different things that each spirit animal can share, and when you read it, you have to see what is it that is actually making sense for me, what resonates with me and my own situation or my energy or the things that I'm going through. So that is something to that's important to know, I guess, is like, don't take everything as a message for you, but take the bits and pieces. So for me, I am a channel. So when I am with my clients on a call and I'm tuning in, then I can be like, oh, Cheetah is showing up for you. And then I ask Cheetah, what is the message for this person? And I will bring through this specific message for the person that, I don't necessarily have to look up what cheetah, the meaning of cheetah is, but sometimes I might be like, okay, well, this is the message that I'm receiving. But if we look up what cheetah means as a spirit animal, or the messages that cheetah might be bringing in, then these are the messages that could be relevant to you. But I will directly channel the message so that I know what they need to know in that moment. And sometimes it's a little bit different than what you look up online and or in a book, and it is like, okay, but this is what actually feels really relevant. So use your intuition above all else. Like, if you, a lot of times you can kind of decipher a message from the animals, like behavior, what they're known for, like their typical type of personality. So, for example, Fox is known as kind of like the trickster who can kind of play games and mess with you a little bit, but they're also very playful. So, there can be a lot of different messages from Fox, but if you see Fox, then it's like, okay, so these are the things that pop into my head. Is there anybody who may be trying to trick me or, try to, what was the word that I wanted to use? I can't think of it right now. But is there anybody who's trying to like play with me and mess with me a little bit and not really have my highest intentions in mind? And so that could be the message in regards to that. Or is the message that I just need to be more playful, or I need to let go of things? Like, there's so many messages that each animal can be providing you. Snail is another good example. You can get an idea what the message is from snail, because snail is very slow but steady, usually. I guess not always. Same thing with turtle. So the message from turtle could be slow down. You'll win the race just by being slow and steady. This could go for tortoise. Actually, tortoise fits a little bit better than turtle because turtles actually are quicker, but in the water anyways. But you can kind of get an idea of the message by the animal itself and the behavior or personality they exhibit. A spider, creativity, they create these intricate webs. They are very helpful in reminding us to be creative and to um, get clear on what we are building for ourselves, that kind of thing. But that's just one message. There's so many other things that can go with each of them as well. Spirit animals can show up in meditation. They show up for me quite often. So spirit animals are really, really good messengers. So all you have to do, especially when you're still developing your abilities or opening up your abilities, that animals can pop in really easily. And it's something that we can wrap our minds around. So it's easier for us to perceive them. But then we question it. We think, oh, that was just my imagination. So that's where you have to trust. So let's say, okay, you have a question about something and you're like, okay, I'm going to ask spirit what the answer is for this. And so you ask the question, you tune in, you go into a light meditation or a deep meditation, whatever. And as long as you let go, then you may find, oh, there is fox is popping in, or frog spirit is popping in, or whatever animal. And you may see them, you may feel them, you may just hear the word. Like, it can come in so many different ways. So this is a really great way of deepening your own abilities in connecting with spirit animals, because it's a lot easier for us to interpret or comprehend them rather than, okay, there is a person and she's feels like a girl, a woman, or feminine energy. She's wearing a dress, and like trying to decipher that energy may feel like kind of a lot in the beginning. And so spirit animals can be a really, really great place to start. So I hope that this helps you a little bit in understanding spirit animals. This is not talking about totem animals, which is different, but spirit animals. So let me know if you have any questions or if you have any experiences that you want to share, pop them in the comments below so that everybody can kind of get a feel for other people's experiences as well. Um, and like I said, if you have any questions about them, pop them below as well. So I can do more videos on this if it is a topic that people are finding really helpful. I also invite you to join my group on Facebook, which is called Sorceress Circle. It's a free group, and this is one of the topics that we're actually talking about in the group, or by the time this goes live, we would have already talked about it, as spirit animals. And my co-host Natalie and I talk about all different kinds of things regarding excuse me, spirituality. We channel each week. We do the weekly energy expansion reading. So the reading of the week, which is peg pile cards. We do all kinds of exciting and fun things in there. There's all kinds of things that you can learn. And so if you're not already in Sorceress Circle, I invite you to join us. I also have a membership group. Sorry, I forgot the word membership. I also have a membership group, and in my membership group, I channel for every single member twice a month, and we do journeys at least twice a month, if not more. So we do a full moon circle, we do new moon circle, and like in October, we have 3 moons, so we're gonna have 3 journeys. We're gonna have 3 moon circles. But we also celebrate some of the big holidays or big energy times, and anything that is really relevant energetically, we celebrate or we come together to work through the energy. So it is a great place for some extra support. So if you're interested in learning more about my membership group, I'm posting the link below, and it is just a great way to work with me in an inexpensive way. So I am so glad that you joined me on this live. All of my links are posted below. If you would like to work with me one-on-one, that's also in the links below. So I will see you on the next video. Bye.